Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. Today we're going to be selling off our silage. Getting an early start because this could be a very long job indeed. We've got over 3 million litres of silage to shift, and as you can see, Gavco have very kindly arranged for some belts to be provided for us. We are having to pay lease costs on these, but they have gone ahead and brought them over for us automatically, so that's saved us a job of having to try and organise these ourselves. And this is what we're going to be trying to shift today, a huge mountain of silage. And oh, what has gone on here? I appear to have lost a huge chunk of silage somehow. I really don't know what's happened here. Has that affected how much I've actually got here? It doesn't say. It does, yeah, look. We're at 2.85. Somewhere along the way, we've lost around 300,000 litres of silage. That's very bizarre. I have no idea what on earth has caused that or why it's happened. But yeah, we have lost quite a bit there. That's not good. That's really not good at all. What on earth could have caused that? Oh well, that's a little bit of cash gone. That's probably about 100 grand or so gone, I would imagine. The other problem we've got as well is that I've accidentally opened this bunker at the wrong end. So now I have to try and get this to open all the way along here. Without putting the blade down, I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. Right on the edge here, this is not a good position to be in. There we go. So how on earth have I managed to lose 300,000 litres? Not happy about that at all. There we go. So bunker is completely open. That's so bizarre, just seeing all that lost like that in such a perfect little trench. Right, we need to get these belts set up. And this is going to be a little bit tricky because we're going to try and run 2 different belt feeds into the BGA itself. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is actually move the tractor out of the way, because right there is going to be problematic. There we go. Right, so first belt is going to be running along the very back side over here, and then tipping in. Oh, really miffed about all that silage that's gone missing. That's a big chunk of cash that we've lost. Right, there we go. So let's get this raised up a little bit as well. So the basic plan is that if we run 2 continuous belt feeds, if one of them goes down, we've still got another one running. It gives us a bit of a fail-safe, and also because we're running at ×5 speed, the bucket will never fill up. When I say the bucket, the shredder will never fill up. So at least not with a single belt, and it won't with 2 belts either. It'll just about stay ahead of the fill rate. Let's check this is in the right position. Needs to come forward a little bit, and also need to spin it a little bit as well. How's that? I still need to take it forward a bit more. A touch more. What I'm trying to do is get it set so that it'll just tip into the edge. That's about right. That's about perfect. I want to give myself as much distance as possible for actually feeding into these things, because we are going to be looking to extend the belts out a little bit, but not straight away. Let's raise the back height of that one. And this is the trickiest part, is getting these belts into the position that they need to be in right at the very beginning. So let's get this positioned where it needs to be, which is going to be about there. There we go. And as I say, to start with, we're not going to just going to move that over to the side there. We're not going to be extending those middle belts, but as we start to take from the bunker, then we will start to do that. Next up, we need to get this one in place, and this is the one that's obviously going to draw from the silo itself. And we're going to be kind of scooping stuff forward from within the bunker. So we'll start up on the top of the bunker and start pushing stuff towards these belts, so that we always have a supply of material. But if we do need to extend the belts out, we can do that one at a time and try and keep that flow going. I want to try and get it all sold in a single unbroken stream if we can, because that's what's going to make us the money. Putting it all through at a single continuous rate. And these have quite a good wide sort of pickup range as well, these little belts. So they'll take from a good kind of angle, and also from a good distance as well. Let's actually get the tractor up onto the bunker before we go any further. There we go. And let's get the second set of belts in place. So we'll start off again with this one here. We'll get it in position, and then once it's lined up right, we'll rotate it out of the way so we can get the other belts in position, get the feed started, and then we'll rotate these belts back into position so that they can start unloading into the silo, or the silo king. There we go, and we'll raise it up a bit as well so we don't have any clearance issues height wise. Let's check the distance. Distance is good. Positioning slightly off, and that's okay because we're going to rotate it. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. So we'll get the next belt in position. Once again, we'll raise the rear height. This one could actually be a little bit more awkward to get started, because it's a lot closer to the bunker, so we've got much less of a gap for the second belt, or the second pickup belt, than we do the first one. But we will persevere. In the long run it'll help us, but in the short term it's going to make it a little bit tricky to get this this belt started. Oh, that reminds me. Need to rotate that out of the way of the pit so we're not starting the tip early. So we're looking at a very large amount of money in terms of how much we can make today. I don't know how much. I'm not even sure roughly what we could expect. I haven't tried to do any sort of mental arithmetic, but we certainly stand to make quite a bit. Key to how much money we'll make will be with our ability to actually tip it all in one continuous go. If we can keep the stream going, that's what's going to really make us the money. I think I might have to manually position this one with a tractor. And this is the one that's going to cause us the problems to start with, which is why we're running 2 belts. So as this first one gets into a good position, oh, don't make me have to reset this. Oh, it's going to make me reset the blade, isn't it? Can I pick it up with the rear? Can I be really lucky? Maybe, actually. Maybe I can. Yes. Okay. Whew. That was a good save. Right, so let's try and position the conveyor with the front harness instead. The front linkage. Or will it let me? Nope, I need the rear one. Okay. But at least now that this is picked up again, we can move that out of the way. Oh, this is awkward. There we go. Right, so careful I don't drive into that little pit that's appeared. Oh no, I've knocked the blade over again. Ugh. You ever get the feeling it's going to be one of those days? We've lost hundreds of thousands of litres of silage before we've even started. The blade keeps falling over. I'm having trouble getting the belt positioned where I need it. You just know it's going to be a day where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Oh, come on. What's it caught on? Right. Very unconventional. Don't get stuck down the pit. Oh dear. Like I said, one of those days. Right. Let's disconnect. And hope that we can manually steer this thing where we need it to be now. It's going to be awkward. Keep going. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you... Oh. How did I know that was going to happen? Alright, let's see. Can we straighten up this way? I don't even know how we've got wedged in this position. Alright, so it's unconventional, but at least we're actually on. It's a start. So, let's get started. There we go. So both of our belts are tipping in. We started with about 3,500. Oh, I've got to get the blade sorted out again, haven't I? This could be fun. If I can't get this blade picked up, this whole thing is a waste of time. There we go. Right. So, basic premise is for me, as I say, to start pushing all of this silage forward towards the conveyors so that they will just continually feed it through. Let's check what our price is right now, actually. Silage is 418, so it's about the lowest it could possibly be. Something else not going in our favour there is, you know, the price of the silage. As I say, it's as low as it could possibly get. But this is going to be what we're going to be doing for pretty much the entire day. I think that's how long it's going to take us to shift 2.8 million litres of silage. It's going to take us a very long time indeed. And we just need to make sure that we keep a continual feed in those belts, so we just have to really kind of nudge it forward all the way through here. Once we get a little bit sorted, once we don't get wedged, we'll be in a pretty good position and we'll be able to carry on at a good old rate. But this early bit is always going to be a tricky bit to get done, and the hardest thing is I've never tried to do this technique using the belts before on a closed bunker. Normally I've done them on an open-ended bunker, so you know it's never been too difficult to get in and out of the bunker. You can just go out the other side. We can't do that on this. We're up here now for the duration, but if we go down we're going to get in the way of at least one of the belts, and at some point we're going to have to kind of do that to reposition things. I'm also very wary about driving in that hole, so I'm going to try and collapse that in a bit if I can. Do not want to get stuck down there, because then that's game over, and that'll mean we'll just hit the point where we run out of material going into the belts, and the stream will be broken. Which means that the market price will tank way lower than it already is. And we'll have to stop and come back and do this another day once the market has recovered. The good thing about the price being at rock bottom at the moment at 418 does mean that, you know, hopefully as the day progresses the price will go up, and we will start to actually make more money on the silage as the day progresses. That's the plan. Hopefully, you know, given where the market is right now, it's not a given. You know, it could well stay like this until we've almost finished and then start to go right towards the end. But as long as we can get it all through, as I say, in a continuous stream, then that slight dip in, you know, or slight fluctuation in price won't matter too much, because as long as it all goes through at over 400, we'll be making a lot of cash. If we break the stream and we start selling at a much lower rate, say 300 or even 200, depending on how much we can get shifted before it breaks, that's how, you know, that's where the substantial change in income could come from. Just going up by $10 or $20, or maybe a little bit more than that, isn't really going to have a massive effect. I mean, it would be nice, and over a very large volume, yes, it will have a significant impact on the final tally that we can make, but in the grand scheme of things, doing that compared to dropping down by about $100 per 1,000 litres, it's a much smaller impact. There we go. So we've kind of dealt with the loss there, that little pit that's been filled in. It gives us an area to kind of try and flatten out a bit now, so we don't end up getting stuck in here. I think we might have been better off perhaps with a tracked vehicle in here today. I very nearly did put a crawler track on the back of this Magnum, and it served us so well with the duals that I kind of like using dual wheels. For some reason I'm not a big fan of the Magnum with tracks, with the crawler track. I don't know why. Because on Farming Sim 15, given a choice between using the New Holland T8 or the T8 Smart Tracks, I used the Smart Tracks all the time, which is essentially exactly the same as the Magnum. You know, it was the Magnum just came with wheels on Farming Sim 15, but the Smart Tracks T8 was essentially the tracked version, you know, the crawler track version of this Magnum. So it was just the same power, etc., as the other T8, except it had a crawler track on the back, but they called it Smart Tracks. And I loved that thing. It was great. It had a great turning circle, had a really good look to it. It just doesn't look, you know, quite so good on this one. You can see there, look, our belt stuttering. I just saw it. That first belt was stuttering, and that would, there it is again, look, just stuttering. Now, this is why we're running two belts, so that if one does have issues, the other one can keep going, and it doesn't stop the stream from breaking. Which means we can keep this all going as a continuous tip. We really need to get some more material pushed forward as quickly as we can. And I'm not sure what's causing that. It might be because the other belt is also taking from the same spot, and that's what's causing that second belt to keep stuttering like that. As long as the other one's working fine, it's not an issue. But we do very quickly need to get that sorted. Because I really do need to reposition that first belt, square that up a bit more at some point, and I can't do that while the first belt keeps stuttering like this, so we need to get that sorted ASAP. And they're both taking from exactly the same feed point at the moment, which is not doing us any favours whatsoever. Because when one belt runs out, the other one's going to be not far behind it. There's a very real risk. Right now, we've made a bit of a mess of this bunker. This is not going well. And this Magnum is really struggling in here. We've rutted this up something horrible. It's because we can't do anything on the other side yet. Oh, now it's stopped completely. There we go, it's working again now. Yeah, we need to really hope that we can get that situation dealt with as quickly as we can. Like I said, if this continues, our continuous tip is going to become a broken tip very quickly. So I'm going to keep sort of trying to level this out as best I can and keep pushing stuff forward. And I'll catch up with you in a little while. So it's a little after 9:15 now. We are about 500,000 litres in, and we've made around $210,000. That's not too bad. So if the price stays as it is, then, you know, we've got what, another 4 times that to go. So, well, no, a little under half that. Nearly 5 times as much to make, so we can make a cool million, I would say, in total today off this silage, maybe even a little bit more. we certainly stand to, actually, yeah, we stand to make a little over a million, probably about 1.1, maybe 1.2 if we're lucky. Of course, that's depending on us getting the whole lot done. And so far, it's been running reasonably smoothly. I have repositioned the belt on this side, on the right-hand side, a little bit, and I've extended the middle belt out a bit as well to bring that one a bit further forward, and that has then enabled me to slightly change the angle of the belt on the left, straighten that up a little bit. It still needs to be straightened up a touch more, but as you can see, we are definitely making an impact now. 2.31 million litres left in the bunker, 225 grand in the bank. So it's all going very nice at the moment. A long way to go though. So we're a little over a million, I think about 1.05 million in, 1.06 million in so far in terms of litres. And you can see we are just around about 450,000. Obviously we started with about 3 grand, 3.5, and if you factor in money from our solar panels, we're probably talking closer to 4 grand, but still made a lot of money, as you can see. Down to 1.77 million litres left in the bunker, still going strong. Still one continuous tip, and the price is going up as well, as you can see. We're up to 438, so the price change has come at the right time. It means the price is just going to keep going up and up and up until it hits, its peak, its zenith, and then it'll settle and stay at that for the rest of the day, and hopefully, we'll get all of this shifted in that higher price band. It's the first time I've checked the price actually, so I don't know how long it's been going up, but given that it started on, what was it, 418, I think it was, 411, 412, something like that, a very low 410s, and it's now nearly 440, which is getting towards the peak. I think it kind of peaks at around 450, 460 on this map. Then it's already looking very, very nice indeed. And look, it would suggest that we sold a lot of it at the higher price already. And you can see I have straightened out that other belt a bit as well. There is a little bit stuck underneath the belt, which I just don't have any way to get to without moving that belt out completely. Something I'm a little uneasy about doing. But at some point I'm going to have to do that. I'm just kind of scraping this stuff down the sides where I can to try and prevent me from getting these huge, great big sort of sloped sides, so it all goes down at reasonably sort of level rate. So it's been quite hard work to get to this point. Plenty of hard work still to come. We still have, over 1.73 million litres to shift, and I do want to try and get it all done in one go if at all possible. So I'm going to keep soldiering away. We'll keep doing these little random check-ins at various points to see how we're doing, and fingers crossed, we'll get through this without any major issues. Oh, The lights just flicked back on, which means the rain is about to hit. It's going to start getting very cloudy any second. And then it's going to get very grey, and then it's going to get very damp. Luckily it's not going to affect our silage operation at all, but you can see we're actually getting down to the concrete now as well. We're finally starting to hit bedrock, as it were. We are 1.45. We're about halfway through the bunker, and we're up to 586,000. So that gives you a good indication as to how much we can kind of clear. Yeah, if we take, say, 5 grand off that, just call it 580, then we can look at doubling that, and we're looking at between sort of 1.6 million. No, that's not right. 1.6, 580. We've got a little bit more than that with in the second half, because we had 2.85. So we're about halfway through now. We're at 590,000. So we're probably talking around about 1080. So a little under 1.1 million litres, a little under $1.1 million once we finish shifting all of this. That is a very, very tidy sum indeed. And not only is that going to pay off all of our debt, it's actually going to put us in a substantial amount of profit. Our debt is currently, having taken out some money to pay the lease fees on the conveyors, our loan debt is currently $775,000. We've almost got enough to pay that off completely and go into our third year with a completely clean bank balance. And anything above that is pure profit. It's money in the bank that will not disappear to anywhere near the same extent every night. Obviously, we're still going to have maintenance costs and running costs and animal fees and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to have no loan fees, which is going to be good. That's going to save us thousands and thousands of dollars a night. So we'll be losing less money per night, and we won't have to worry about paying off a big loan somewhere down the line, or if we need a new bit of equipment, we're not going to have to worry about how much strain it's going to put on our bank balance, because we're going to have a healthy, very, very healthy account indeed. So yeah, it's taken us a while to get to this point, but by the end of year 2 we are going to be very, very much in the black, and that is fantastic news. We are really up against it now. We've only got the one belt running. The other one kind of just picks up little bits here and there as I'm pushing stuff forward. We've got less than 60,000 litres, sorry, less than 600,000 litres in the bunker. We are very close to hitting 1 million in income, but I'm now at a point where I'm struggling to keep this other belt fed. So we'll keep going as long as I can, and when we break the stream, because I think it's inevitably going to happen now, when the stream breaks and we stop getting that continuous tip, then we'll kind of pack it in. We'll let the market recover, and we'll come back on another day to finish off whatever's left, and we'll come with a bucket so that we can scoop stuff out from the back. That, or we'll pre-prepare it. We'll get it all pushed forward so that when we do turn the belt back on, it'll be much easier to just kind of push it up to the belt, because we'll be able to get behind it rather than trying to work it from weird angles. It's just taking a long time now to get this stuff into a position where I can start pushing it forward. That's why I haven't been able to keep, you know, both belts well fed. And the other one, as I say, you can see it's picking up scraps from here and there as we are moving stuff forward. It does drag from little bits here and there, but I'm just building a single pile, as you can see, because that's pretty much all I've got space for now. It's just that, you know, I don't have enough material to stockpile both belts. So if anything does happen now and that belt slips for whatever reason and stops tipping, which is a possibility, then the stream breaks and it no longer becomes a continuous tip, which means the market price will plummet. Given that we've put, let's see, 3.3 million litres through the no, sorry, 2.3 million litres through the shredder so far, I would expect that price to drop by at least 100, maybe even more. And this is where I have to be careful when I'm pushing that scoop forward now, that I don't push it too far and disturb the belt and end up pushing it back, which is entirely possible. I've done it before, more than once. And as I say, when you've got two belts running, it's fine. It doesn't matter if one belt gets disturbed, and you can get out and you can fix it because the other one's still running and picking stuff up. But when you've only got one belt running, you can't make those changes on the fly. And this is, as I say, this is where it's getting really awkward, trying to get this stuff down now to the front. It's getting really hard to actually just get at it. We've done really well to get to this point. I honestly thought it would probably be a little bit tougher to get to this point than it has been. It was quite tricky at the start, just trying to carve out enough space to be able to push stuff forward. We were rutting up really quickly, getting really difficult, rocky, rutty patches, which was making it hard to push material forward, but we worked through those and we were able to shift a lot of material forward quite quickly. Now it's just trying to work it out from that back corner and then push it forward down here and keep that belt well fed. And it is proving to be tricky. So I'll carry on and then see where we end up. We'll probably pop back in if we make it to 1 million. I'll pop back in for 1 million and see where we're looking there. And if the stream breaks, then as I say, we'll look to wrap it up and try again on the day to finish off the remainder. So I'll see you in a little while. That's 1 million. We made it to 1 million. That is awesome. So we're currently sitting on $225,000 of profit right now. I am still just about managing to keep this bed felt, but not for much longer given how hard it is to get this stuff out. It's just, I'm really struggling now. I'm making so little progress in bringing this stuff down here. I need a bucket and I don't have one. And I'm just not getting it down fast enough. Yeah, I'm gonna run out, I think. I'll keep pushing on. I'll keep trying to get at it. But I just need to be able to just get a nice big chunk and just shove it all the way down and I'm just not able to do that at the moment. It's getting really, really tricky. Just even this bit here, it's getting really tricky to actually get in and move this because it's slightly contoured. That's the biggest bit I've been able to move in a couple of minutes. I've literally just been shaving a thin layer off the top each time I've been going down. There we go, finally been able to kind of push that chunk forward. And now I've got to try and start doing that all over again. I've got to try and get in and move a section and get it pushed down at an angle where I can actually get to it. This is getting so tricky. It's getting really tough to actually just get the blade down and get hold of something and start pushing it. I think we might be near the end. Oh, it stopped raining, I've just noticed. I've gone about as far as I can, I think, without pushing the tractor completely off the back. As I say, I'm just trying to get some kind of movement in this stack. It's proving so hard, as you can see, and this is the problem. This is why I'm running out of time, is because I get wedged up here, just making these small incremental little movements, and all the time it's just eating away whatever's left in front of the belt. It'll get to a point where, you know, by the time I've got a section wedged and moved, there'll be nothing left at the belt, and that'll be the end of it. There we go. Finally starting to make some progress on this little bit here. Not a lot left there, is there? We can do this, come on. There we go. Right. So now I've got a little bit of flatter traction. I should start being able to start moving this forward now. There we go. There's hardly anything left there, look. This is getting really, really, really tight. I've had a quick idea, a quick brainwave. I broke the belt. I broke the belt. That's it. Damn it. I just had an idea as well. Never mind. I had an idea where I could start bringing those other belts across. These two belts, I could have brought that one in front of this one, and then brought the other belt there, and stuck it in front of that, and had that one unload onto the ground in front of this. Might have worked, might not have worked, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We accidentally broke the continuous tip. So, wow, yeah, we've been going for what, 12 hours, nearly 12 hours or so. And we made 1.02 million. So before we do anything else, let's take a look and see what's happened to the price for silage. And that's still showing 442. Oh no, wait, BGA 272. Yeah, it's plummeted. As you can see, absolutely plummeted. Not great. Yeah, it's what we expected. So there's no point selling anymore, because we're just going to be selling at a massive loss on what we could be making. So we'll come back possibly tomorrow, possibly the final day. We'll try and get some slurry down on the fields if we can, some digestate. Let's see how the tank should be full. No, the tank isn't even full, look. It's at 721,000 litres. There's nothing left in the shredder. So, how much have we got left? 44,000. So, 2.4 million litres has equated to 770,000 litres of digestate. So that's kind of a ratio there. I was surprised actually. I thought the tank would have filled up by now, but it hasn't. So we can look at maybe start doing some spreading of digestate tomorrow, and then once that's up and running, we can then come back and reposition the remaining silage, bring a bucket up of some kind, and just get the stuff out from the wall, get it all pushed up near the front, and then get some belts hired again, and complete the tip, and get the rest of it through when the price is back up to where it should be. So not a bad day's work, I think. But yeah, that's it from me now for the end of this particular episode, the end of this day. I'm going to get everything kind of packed away and head back to the farm. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with another episode of Lone Oak Farm very soon.